Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 177 in our review, the fifth review. We have a central thought. Say it with me. Buster. I did negotiate. Say that central thought with me. I know you know what it is, that God is but love and therefore so am I. Or simply that God is love and therefore so am I. Definitely works either way I say it, because God is love. And because God is my source, God is my celestial parent, then I must have the same attributes that my Father has as well. Now, the first lesson that we are reviewing, and remember, we say this, our little mantra, before we start the lesson. After we do the first lesson, we say our mantra again. Second lesson, mantra again. And all through the day, as often as we can remember, we need to remind ourselves that God indeed is love and therefore so am I. We are forming those pathways of oneness in our mind, that indeed we are exactly like our Father, our source. The first lesson we are reviewing, there is no death, the Son of God is free. I'm just going to go back to yesterday's second lesson, that I am as God created me. Now, if I believe that I am as God created me, then of course there can be no death, because death is a limitation and God did not create limitations. So it's as easy as that. There cannot be any death. The Son of God is free. I am the Son, the child of God. I must be free as well. There is no death. Death is not an event that happens. Death is a thought that we have. If I have a thought of death, and what is that? It's a lack of joy. Then if I have that thought of lack of joy, then I have placed a limitation on myself. But I am the Son of God. I am as God created me, and I have no limitations placed upon myself unless I place them on me. Now, in lesson 167, which we'll be at in a couple of days, and that lesson is there is one life, and that I share with God. But we had a further explanation of death. And it says it's the alarm to which you give response of any kind that is not perfect joy, all sorrow, loss, anxiety, and suffering and pain, even a little sigh of weariness, a slight discomfort, or the merest frown, acknowledge death, and thus deny you live. Death is the appearance of mortality. But again, as I say, death is not the lack of breath, it is the lack of joy. And that is a thought that can be reversed. Death is a thought that can be reversed. We die every time, a little bit, we die every time that we have turned away from God and turned towards the ego mind that is offering us pain and anxiety and depression and death. So we don't want to do that today. Today we're going to tell ourselves, convincingly please, that there is no death, and the Son of God, the child of God, is totally and completely and forevermore free. Free of death, free of fear thoughts, free of that there not being enough of anything. The second lesson that we are reviewing, and of course in between we say God is but love and therefore so am I, but after that we now say, now we are one with him who is our source. If I am as God created me, and remember the thought never leaves the source, then I can say now I am one, but in truth I always have been one. Going into the introduction to the review, in the past I've gone to paragraph 8, okay, that now we are one with him who is our source, and it tells us that God would not have heaven incomplete. So I'm one with my source because my Father does not want heaven, home, to be incomplete. And it waits for us. waits for us to come for completion. I am incomplete without your part in me. And as I am made whole, we go together to our ancient home, prepared for us before time was and kept unchanged by time, immaculate and safe as it will be at last when time is done. When time is done, when I come home, time will totally collapse. Time will be no more. There'll be no more use for time. So now we are one with him who is our source. We have come home, and this journey that we have been on actually has been completed. It was completed before we even took it. We can go back to paragraph 5 in the review that says, this is promised us, and that this course was sent to open up the path of light to us and teach us step by step how to return to the eternal self we thought we lost. Now I am one with he who is my source. And yes, I have not lost anything. I cannot lose anything. We have in this review introduction the idea, the steady our feet, Father. We have not been unwavering on our journey home. We have wandered off, but you will always call us back because we are one with you who is our source. You wait for us. Quicken our footsteps now that we may walk more certainly and quickly unto you. We are one with you who is our source. And we are ready to make that journey home and have the wonderful realization that it's complete. It's complete. It's been complete. I'm looking back to where the journey was begun. And now I'm going to make a different choice. I'm going to choose that I no longer need to make this journey because I'm going to choose to be home forever and forever and forever, because God is but love, and therefore so am I. Our practicing, I don't think I mentioned, in the morning, in the evening, and as often during the day, that we can remember to say, God is but love, and therefore so am I. Those pathways are being set up for us, and it's not a setup, it's the real thing. So I hope that helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile at these ideas. There's no death, and we are one. What could be better? I ask you, what could be better? So smile and breathe and release and pray for this awareness for all of our brothers and sisters, all of the sonship, to come to the realization that we all are one. We are one with God, and we are one with each other. Namaste.